How y'all doing?
Good. I think it's maybe the first time we've seen you without a boot.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's been 8 months, so it's definitely nice to be able to wear a new shoe on there. But you know, I'm just thankful that everything was able to work out correctly. So
can we assume that you're 100% yet, or not quite?
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things. I've been blessed to have Saban really support me with this and do the right things to help me get back to where I am. You know, I mean, honestly, I'd hope that I'd be 100% by this time, but you know, I feel 100%. But I'm sure I'm still working out some of the kinks just with. You know, when you haven't ran 8 months, and then after a while, you know, you got to get back up to it. But I mean, I feel wonderful out there, so I'm just blessed with that.
How much have you been able to do in the scrimmages? Have you taken part in a lot of that?
Yeah, so I've been able to do everything in the scrimmages. At the beginning, when I first came out, it was basically trying to handle the reps that you're going to deal with and not overdoing it. And luckily, I've had a wonderful training staff, and you know, with the help of Coach Saban, who's really looked out for me, I've been able to really be able to, I think, slowly, but also, I think, precisely getting back to where I need to be. So, you know, I'm thankful to be where I am at right now and just looking forward to the game.
Colin, you had to miss last year. I mean, did you ever consider the idea that you would take a redshirt this year to get better, or was this something that you were determined to play?
No matter what happened, I was going to play this season. It's one of those things where you sat out for a year. I don't think you want to sit out for another year. But, I mean, it's one of those things where it was scary. I mean, it was at one point, you know, you get frustrated just when you don't know how it's really going to work out, and then you talk to doctors. But like I said, it was one of those things where no matter what happened, I was going to try to tough it out this year. I'm just thankful that I've been able to have a healthy foot. So.
Is it like a hairline fracture? Is that right?
Yeah, it was a stress fracture throughout the entire bone, which was the scary part because you had to get 2 screws put in there. But it's one of those things where, you know, I've been blessed with the best doctors. You know, University of Alabama. I love this place. I'm just so thankful that they looked out for me the way they did and took precautions to make sure that I could get back to where I'm at right now. So I owe them everything.
Are the screws still in there, or did you have them removed?
Yeah, so no, screws stay in for life. So, you know, hopefully I don't set off a metal detector when I go through the airport.
So you give much thought to you get to restart your career in Atlanta?
You know, that's funny because I remember last year when we went there, it was kind of weird because I had all my friends calling me and, you know, asking me for tickets because they're like, yo, I know you're not going to be playing. Can I borrow them? But I gave it to my family instead. But this year it's definitely interesting to be starting my career off for Alabama where I left. And, you know, that was where our practice facility was. So I actually played in the Georgia Dome a little bit during when I was at GT because that's when it was pouring down rain. That's where we went. So I guess it's familiar grounds. But I'm just thankful to be wearing Crimson Tide, be able to hopefully affect the game, do something positive come September 5th.
How antsy are you to get back out there, though, for a real game?
Oh, I'm definitely super antsy. I mean, it's especially like now that you sort of see the game in your sights and 2 days finally done and it's getting closer. You're putting in the game plans and, you know, you finally see that, wow, the season's upon us. And it's just fun to be back in it because after a year when you're on the sidelines, you know, you lose a little bit of that enthusiasm, just you know, not worrying about the game as much, but you know, I'm just really hyped for it, I think.
There's 2 seniors to replace in an offense that often runs 2 tight ends, one more blocker, one more route runner. Which are you?
You know, the thing that's been awesome with, I think, the entire tight end unit this year is that we're all multifunctional. I think we're all able to do everything. I think last year that was something that may have hurt us when we had certain tight ends in certain situations and, you know, it predicated what defenses knew that we were going to do with those people. But I think this year with the options that we have with all the tight ends, you know, we're all able to do everything. And I think that's going to be a positive aspect about our offense. And hopefully there'll be, you know, I think maybe a little intricate maneuver that's just different about our offense this year.
You obviously much prefer catching.
Well, I think, that's a triple option, so it's a totally different offense. But I think any tight end, just in general, loves to catch the ball. But at the same time, I think to be a complete player, you have to block at the same time. So I'm just, you know, I try to focus on being well-rounded. And I think that's what has benefited our entire tight end unit this year is that we understand that we all have to be well-rounded players because not only will it help yourself, but also help the team and our ability to, you know, progress and to win games. So, you know, but at the same point, you know, it's always fun to catch passes.
Did you first hurt the foot last season, or was it?
It was actually they found out about it the Friday before the SEC championship game, and that's when we found out about it. And then I tried to rest it for a month to be able to play in the Sugar Bowl. And then once we got down there, I went to the first practice, and then it just wasn't where it needed to be, and coaches realized, and they just said, hey, we got to get surgery on it. So that's really where it started. I got surgery in January, and then from there to here is the process of how it's been able to rehabilitate, I guess.
You say they found it, so that means you
were
probably dealing with it for...
I was dealing with it for about 2 weeks. I did something to my ankle or something. It just happened during sort of like a scrimmage, and I was just able to hopefully have that, and didn't really realize it until all of a sudden we got an MRI and it was what it was. So,
is there anything else on the horizon for it, maybe after the season, that you think you might have to have done? Or?
No, sir. Luckily, like I said, I have the best doctors in the nation working on me, so we were able to handle everything at that time. And the whole thing was just the process of being cautious with it, because if you go back to, I guess, hesitant, then you're not able to let the bone heal enough, and if you come back too forceful, then you let the bone deteriorate. So, like I said, I was just lucky to have best doctors in the country, and just to be 100% right now, for me, hopefully, I'm just thankful.
Was it Dr. Andrews? Or?
It was Dr. Angus McBride, great doctor, so appreciate it. Thank you to Dr. McBride for everything.
So is this something you're going to have to keep an eye on, maybe?
No, I don't think it was something that you had to keep an eye on once I came back. But now at this point, it's one of those things where we realize that, hey, it's no longer a problem. It's just getting back in shape, your legs and everything like that back in shape. But it's not something that I think you have to really worry about as the season goes along. That's what I said. I've just been blessed and been thankful for that.
When Paul Johnson was hired at Georgia Tech,
yes, sir.
did you give it 30 seconds of thought, 30 minutes of thought, or 30 days
It's one of those interesting situations where you really didn't know when he came in. It took me a minute. I actually didn't make the decision until after a bowl game. But it was, I think it's different for every player. You have dreams of wanting to be a starting tight end and play that position. And when you realize that it wasn't going to be that anymore, you may not be able to play that position, you get a little hesitant about what your future may hold for you. And I'm just thankful for how it worked out today. So I really don't like to look back in the past and what could have been. I'm just thankful to be here, and like I said, I owe Saban everything. So he's the best coach in the nation.
Kind of what could have been, but what actually turned out. During your recruitment, I believe Alabama was right there with Tech, right?
Yes, sir.
How close was that?
That was the funniest thing, is I almost came here in the first place, but excuse me, I happened to not come here, and it's it may have been fate that brought me back or not. My mom always says it, because my grandfather actually played here. He played on the last Rose Bowl team. I'm pretty sure. If I'm 100% though, he's dead, so please don't hate me. But yeah. So it's just it's nice to be back here. And I know my grandmother is she's ecstatic about it. So I'm looking forward more to having her see me play next Saturday than maybe I'm even excited. But
what's your grandfather's name?
His name's Robert Collins. I think he actually played with Coach Griska, is that his name? Wasn't it Coach Griska? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he played with him. He played center, so give the old man props.
That's good stuff right there. You told us that, right?
Did you consider any other schools besides Alabama?
Yes, sir. When I first came down, I actually talked to Florida in here, and I just fell in love with Coach Saban. So, like I said, I just thought he was the greatest coach in the nation. When I was able to meet him, he just blew me away even more from, you get a reputation for him, but then actually when you meet the man in person, he even wows you more. So, right then and there when I was talking to him, I knew that this is the place I wanted to be at. This is the coach I wanted to play for.
Did your dad's ties to Florida, was that tough, though?
It was always tough because, when I grew up, 100% playing, rooting for Florida just because that was where my entire family went. But when it came down to me actually going to college, my dad was he was all for me choosing the best college that would give me the best opportunity for myself. So in that regards, I'm just so thankful that my dad never pushed me in one way or another. And he, even when it came down to me transferring from Georgia Tech, he said, we have to do what's best for you. And even when he met Saban, he said, wow, this man's incredible. This is a coach that you want to play for. So I think on that end, we were both just, smitten with being where we're at right now. And I'm just thankful really to truly be here. So.